Hey guys, welcome to the shop. I thought I would kind of do a Facebook Live here. One of the questions that we're asked a lot of times in the shop is, what exactly is ceramic coating and how does it work? So one of the things that we don't do very often is show the application process and then kind of walking through that. So I'll just kind of narrate or take you through the steps and stuff. But let me tell you what goes into this before you even start the ceramic coating application. On this, we did extensive polishing. We are getting this ready for the car show season, which for us is in the spring. So we've been working toward getting that. So what we did is we wanted to, before we put the ceramic coating on there, we want to perfect the surface. And I've been working, so my hair is messed up. Just forgive me for that. But anyway, so we went through and did a multi-step polish, multi-stage polish. So we do a cutting to remove scratches, and then we do a polish to bring that shine back out. So that's what we've done there. So we've done that. After we finish, back up. So even before we do the polishing phases, we're going to do a chemical and a mechanical decontamination. Mechanical, if you've heard clay bar would be a mechanical decontamination. Iron removers, chemicals like that, are going to go in and they're going to lift it out of the pores, the dirt and grime out of the pores. They're going to remove fallout, things like that. So that would be a chemical. The thing you have to balance in that is a lot of times we think more is better. So we go and we use cleaners that are too strong, and it's actually stripping the paint, which over time dries it out too fast. It has an etching effect on it. And then two, it can, it'll leave residue look behind. If you've ever used something that's too strong chemical wise, you can come in and look and you'll see lines and all that in there. And you think, well, what is that? Well, it's etching. So if you're using chemicals that are too strong when you're doing the chemical decontamination or when you're cleaning your vehicle, it's going to damage more than it's going to help. So we want to use things that are going to chemically remove that but not threaten the paint. We also want to do the clay bar treatment. So that's really the decon phase before we even start the polishing process. I've been working on this, I think, for about a week and a half, just little bits here and there on taking scratches out. The front part has PPF on it, paint protection film, to guard against rock chips. The rest of the car does not have that on there. Even though this has PPF, I went back and polished it because I'm going to coat this with ceramic coating just with the same product that I'm going to put on the painted surface. So I'm going to walk you through kind of what that looks like in the application. Let me turn you around a little bit. And if I make you dizzy, I'm sorry. So when you're ceramic coating, what does coating look like? Here's what ceramic coating comes when you open the box. And I'm going to put a 1-year product on the car. I'm going to use 1 year because I'm going to come back later and then wrap the whole car in PPF. I didn't want to use our most durable repellent product like Crystal Serum Ultra, which is our 9-year product. I didn't want to do that because we want the PPF when we put it on there to stick. So because I didn't want adhesion problems, I'm just going to go with a 1 year. And then when we come back later and decide to put the PPF around the whole vehicle, it's just a light polish and everything should be fine to be able to do that. So I'm going to use XO, which is by G-Technic. When you open the box, you're going to see gloves. You're using gloves not to protect your hands so much as you are protecting the surface, because everywhere that you touch the painted surface with your bare hands, you're leaving body oil on the surface. Really what makes the ceramic coating work so well is that it penetrates down into the pores of the paint. And if you want to know what that's like, so a lot of us are used to old school wax. I've been detailing, this is going to tell my age, but as of this year, I've been detailing for 40 years. That's mind-boggling. But anyway, that's when turtle wax was the go-to. When you look at a waxing application versus a ceramic coating application, it's like comparing lotion and baby oil, okay? You can put lotion on your skin and it has a benefit for that, by putting it on. But what you're running into is it doesn't have the penetration power to go down deep into the pores of your skin. If you look at baby oil, it has that penetration power. So it's going deep down to the pores, and it will adhere in there because it's actually going into the pores. Ceramic coating does the same thing. Wax lays on top of the painted surface like lotion would your skin. This is going to penetrate deep into the pores of the paint. What makes this effective when you hear a nanotechnology, what that means are the molecules or the product itself is so thin that it will go down into the smallest of crevices. The benefit of that is that's how it effectively locks out the dirt and the grime, is it has to get down in there to seal it. So it goes deep down into the pores to seal that. Now, what does it look like? What does ceramic coating look like? That's what it looks like. It comes in a bottle just like this, okay? We use ceramic coating that is professional grade in the shop. There's so much chatter out there about ceramic coatings and, enough to make you dizzy, and just trying to listen to all of that's going on out there with ceramic world. There are a lot of naysayers. There are those who said it's the best thing. I will tell you, it has revolutionized the industry. We've been in business a little over a little over 4 years. We have 500, 600 cars out there. We've had 0 comebacks. The product works. It protects the paint. So we've seen that. Usually the guys that are out there that are naysayers, they're trying to steer you to a new product that they're a part of or what have you, but it works. But go with professional grade only, okay? Anytime you take a product, whether it's a 2-part epoxy that you're putting on your floor like what we have in here that Valent Concrete did for us, anytime you make it DIY friendly, you have to dumb the product down to make it user friendly. The problem with that is that the first thing that happens is you jeopardize quality. They have to dumb it down so the quality is less. There are so many versions of ceramic that are out there today. You see them in a spray bottle. Just know this. If it's in a spray bottle, it might be a ceramic coating, but it's a fusion-based, dumbed-down product that will work, but the life of it is going to be about 30 to 90 days. I would say closer to about 45 days, just to be realistic. So in that, you're going to see those variations of it. If you guys can hear me, if you would, just somebody do a thumbs up or something, because I'm wearing a lapel mic and I've never done that with here, but nobody's told me you can't hear me yet. So if you can't, just shoot me a message real quick. But on here, if it's in a spray bottle, it is a fusion-based, dumbed-down product. Now, G-Technic has one, and it is excellent, okay? But what it is a DIY friendly. But for a DIY friendly that you're going to use about every 40 days, it works fantastic. It's called Crystal Light. No, that's a drink. It's called Liquid Crystal, backwards. Okay, so Liquid Crystal works really good. It's just spray on Miyagi style, spray it on your rag, wipe on, wipe off, and it's good for that. It makes a great complement to those who have had ceramic coating put on their vehicle. It's a good maintenance spray, so it's a good follow-up to go over it after that. But this is what professional grade ceramic coating looks like, okay? It's clear. Now, can you do this at home? Yes, you can, if you know what you're doing. And you have to, can you watch a YouTube video and learn it? Probably, you probably could. But what you have to know are the risks that are involved in this. You can, if you don't wipe it all off, leave high spots behind, which if you don't know how to polish, now you've got a problem. Then you'll be bringing it to someone to polish to get those high spots off, okay? So there is a caution with that. It's not rocket science, but it is something that you have to know what you're doing. Now, we do have the product, the 9-year product that we have, which is Crystal Serum Ultra, that dries. It is a literal liquid crystal. It dries hard, okay? Now, not just anybody can buy it. You have to be certified with them to even buy it and then apply it, because you can literally ruin a paint job. We had a person who brought us a truck, and this has been a few years ago, a brand new Denali, that a guy asked him, could he do it? Somehow the guy got his hands on the Crystal Serum Ultra. He put it on his truck. He did not wipe it off. He watched a YouTube video on how to do it. And $4,000 later, we got his truck fixed. So just be cautious in that. So this is what comes with it. You have an applicator. I'm going to touch it with my gloves on. So you have a foam applicator. It's I don't know what you call that fabric, but it's a very fine fabric that's in there. Then you have the gloves. So I'm going to start with the front. Usually with our team, we like to start in the same place every time. Just muscle memory or just whatever helps us in that. But I want to show you the application process and kind of how that works for professional grade ceramic coating. So I'm going to put my gloves on here. I'm going to do a little surgery. All right. The surface, as I said, has been polished. It has also been prepped. Prepped meaning there is a product that we use that I have over here. It's a clear product. It's alcohol based. It's a quick dry product. What this is, it's panel wipe. Panel wipe is a product that we're going to use to wipe down the surface. We want to make sure that there are no fingerprints, no residue, anything that would prevent this from sinking into the product or into the paint like it should. So we want to make sure that everything has been removed. And so that's been done. I want to just kind of show you a pre-ceramic shine. This is no ceramic whatsoever, but this is the shine that we've gotten from the polishing that we've done. What is the advantage of ceramic? It's going to slow down the aging process. The other thing that it's going to do is it's going to lock the dirt and grime out, but it's going to lock in what you see here. Now the product, like I said, is a 12-month product that I'm using now, but we have them offered in the shop. That's a 1 year, a 5 year, and a 9 year. I'm using the 1 year. And it literally locks in that new car look, that shine that you see here for the life of the coating, okay? So I'm not gonna have to come back. I won't have to wax this for a year based on this product, or 5 year or 9 years. You won't have to wax it. Now you've got to maintain it. Somebody asked me one time, well, does that mean I don't have to wash it? No, you still got to wash it. I mean, come on. So anyway, so we're gonna walk through, I'm just gonna show you the application process. Now here's the applicator. There are a variety of applicators out there. You want to use something with a fine fabric on it. And the reason you want to do that is that if you've ever used paint rollers, the roller nap when you're painting a wall, if you use a 1/4 inch or whatever size that is. So if you use a 1/4 inch nap and then you use the 1.5 inch nap and you roll the wall, you're going to notice that it misses spots on the long ones, on the longer nap. It's because it can't poke that paint in there, and it's leaving spaces where you can see it. It's leaving it transparent on the wall. You use the 1/4 inch nap or 3/8 inch, and you roll that into the paint. Then you roll the wall, and it covers it better. It's because the nap is tighter. Okay. So when you use an applicator like this, the nap or the fabric is tighter woven. So when you're applying this on the surface, you're getting a much tighter and more thorough application. So that's where this comes in handy, okay? All right, so I'm gonna start this and I'm gonna work panel by panel. You don't wanna go wiping the whole car down. This has a flash point. So what you'll do is when you apply it to the surface, you're gonna watch for rainbows, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna watch for that to start to flash. When it does, you'll see the rainbows in there, and that lets you know that it's time for you to start wiping it off. Now, because we've polished the car, when we're removing the ceramic coating, we want to make sure that we're using a rag, one, that's going to do two things. One, not scratch the car, and two, going to adequately remove this ceramic coating from the surface. Now, there are rags out there that work a lot better than others. This is one made specifically for ceramic coating. Okay, they're more expensive, but they save you a lot of trouble. We've grabbed a wrong rag before. I've seen this, and then wipe the car down. Now you got to go back and do some polishing to get that back out of there, okay? So you want to make sure you've got a good clean rag that has not been washed. If you're doing this at home, that has not been washed in the washing machine with your clothes, because you don't want fabric softener in this rag. You want to use things that are soaps that are specific to microfiber towels. That way, when you're washing it, you're not getting fabric softener in here and you're trying to wipe and you're noticing that it's just putting a film on there, and that'll drive you crazy. So use the right rag that's been cared for properly. Okay? So let's do the application process. Let's see if I can bring in, if I make your car sick, I'm sorry. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to apply it to the applicator. Okay, and then I'm going to you don't want to miss anything, so you're going to kind of go back and forth on the surface. You're going to get in all the crevices, because you don't want to miss anything. Okay, this has a slower flash point than our 5-year and 9-year products, so we can take our time a little bit. You still want to be mindful of the time that it's on the surface, because you don't want it to start drying per se, and then you have high spot problems later. So I'm just going to do this panel. I'm going to work all the way out to the edge. And if you're just joining us, we are doing ceramic coating application. We're actually putting EXO, EXO, by G-Technic. It is a 1-year ceramic. And like I mentioned earlier, the reason we're using 1 year, because we're going to come back. The surface I'm putting it on now is actually has paint protection film on it, PPF. Now I'm putting this on there because we're going to come back later. I'm going to put it also on the painted surface. We're going to come back later and wrap the whole vehicle in PPF, and I didn't want to put that on there and have adhesion problems later. If I put the 9-year product, I could have possibly run into that. So I'm watching now for flash points. If you need a light, you can do that with a light. All right, it's ready to be wiped off. Okay, so we're gonna go where we started. And again, there's no need to press down hard. The key is to be thorough and making sure that you're wiping the surface adequately. You don't want to push down. If you push down, you run a risk of scratching the surface. And 2, there's just no need. So just press lightly. And main thing is just to make sure that you're wiping it completely off the surface. And man, is that slick already. You can feel it. It's so funny. Everybody, when they come to pick their vehicle up in the shop, first thing they want to do is touch it. And you just got scratches off of it. One of the things we like to do too is pour a bottle of water on it so they can see it after it's been freshly done. And it always brings a giggle. So you want to make sure you want to wipe wider than where your application was, because you'll push it. You won't realize it at times. And when you're wiping the surface, you're pushing it out there. So you may have a high spot here because you didn't adequately wipe the surface clean. And so you pushed it out there. So you want to take your rag and go out further than you actually applied it to the surface. And then that way you know that you're getting all the excess, because what you don't want is to come back later and find high spots, especially with our 9-year product, because now you got to dig in with the polisher and get that off. The surface is a little tacky, meaning the drag rate, if you will, when you pull your finger across there or you pull the rag across the surface, it kind of sticks to the surface. And it's because I polished the PPF when I was polishing the rest of the vehicle. So it's a little tacky, but where I just put this on there, it is slick, which is what it's supposed to do. So I'm making sure that I've got everything wiped off of there. All right, and just when you think you're done, keep going for another minute or two. Because what we're doing now is we're working, so we've got the initial application off of there, but what I'm doing now is the more you wipe it back and forth, the more clarity you bring to it. So you can add a little bit more shine to it because you've gotten every bit of it off. So you want to make sure that you've got all in the crevices. And I'm so glad that whoever invented these roll-around stools did, because I'm from the day of sitting on your rear end in the driveway doing this. And my back don't like that anymore. All right, so there's one panel down. So we're going to take this. You'll see me folding the rag because you want to keep a clean surface. So we'll fold the rag, change it up. So I'm going to set that there. All right. I think what I'm going to do is just keep working down this side. So let me scoot you back so you can kind of watch right here. It's hard for me to get I'm having to do it vertically. So it's hard to get me and the car in there, but you'd rather see the car anyway, so that's good. All right, now, again, the surface has been wiped down. We're free of any contaminants like our fingerprints. So I'm gonna now I'm gonna probably wipe the whole door because again, this is a slower flashpoint product. If you're using a 9-year product, it's gonna have a quicker flashpoint. You're not gonna wanna try to do the whole door with that. So I'm gonna come in here. Make sure I get all of the surface there. Now, even though I'm gonna wipe the whole door down, I won't be able to do that with just one round of product application. So I'm gonna have to go back and add some more to finish it out. And I'm gonna do a crosshatch pattern. That way I know I've gotten everything covered. You know, one of the things that we like too is ceramic coating for your glass, especially the windshield. We have, when Beverly and I went to the beach, you know, it's going to rain a lot of times back and forth to Florida. And so it did. It was a downpour. We didn't, you know, windshield wipers were optional at that point. It was repelling that water very, very good. Which for those that are, in case you didn't know, we are starting to do aircraft now. We do polishing ceramic on those. And so pilots will greatly appreciate that from a safety standpoint, and that the water repels really good off that windshield while they're flying. You just have to pay attention where you've been and where you haven't here, because you want to make sure you get the whole surface. And I kind of find reference points on the vehicle. You'll see me plant my foot a lot of times, and that lets me know where I worked to. So I've got the whole top there, and then where my foot is. So now I'm going to do a cross hatch right here. Make sure I got the whole surface done. I kind of feel like that artist, what's his name, that the frizzy-headed guy that narrates his paintings. Not that I think I'm painting, though. And this is flashing pretty good right there. All right, my foot's marked the spot. I'm gonna put a little more on here and see if I can finish out the door. All right, back and forth. We're applying ceramic coating. If you just joined us on the painted surface, we've adequately removed all the contaminants from the pores of the paint. We did that in our washing and decontamination process. Then we followed it with a multi-stage polish, which is a color shine enhancement, removes oxidation, and then it also removes scratches. See, and one thing too, we have to know this. There's no such thing as flawless paint jobs. There are a few. I will give guys some credit because I've seen some cars. If you watch Barrett Jackson like I do in here, there's some pretty flawless paint jobs, but they're few and far between. Even brand new cars, it does not matter that it's brand new. You think, well, it's brand new, it's flawless. Nope, it's not, because we see that all the time. Trash in the paint, you know, to being washed improperly at the dealership, you know, those kind of things. Speaking of dealerships, let's talk about that for just a minute. Ceramic coating at the dealership. Now, I know there are exceptions, but let me tell you what I have found. That is not the place to get your vehicle ceramic coated. Okay, they sell cars. They don't detail cars. Even if they have a shop in there, the majority of them, and if they're honest, they'll tell you. So, selling point for them is they can roll it into your financing on your purchase of your vehicle. And most people have heard enough about ceramic coating that it sounds good. Now, I've heard I need that, so let me get that. There is a huge difference in what you are going to get at a dealership than what you're going to get elsewhere. It's just different. I would not do it at all there. Save yourself the hassle. We get a lot of them in the shop that have had that chose that route. And I have to break the news to them that they should have waited. And I show them why. And if you've fallen for that, per se, and you want me to inspect it, I would love to. And I can do that convincingly. And again, I love dealerships. I've got friends that manage them. And it's nothing personal against them. But that's not where you're going to get your ceramic done. And we've seen them pay anywhere from $600 to $3,000 to get that done. And I would encourage you, wherever you look at getting things like that done, detailing, ceramic coating, polishing, interview your person. Interview them. And if you want to know what to ask them, call me. I'll tell you. I don't care whether you come to us or not. I want to know that you're spending your money wisely. So if nothing else, I see myself at times as an ambassador for your money because I want to see you spend it wisely. If it's a reputable shop and I know their work, I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, I'm not trying to just sway you to come in our doors. I'd rather just know that you did the right thing in that. So making sure that we don't leave any high spots. We're wiping wider than what we applied just to make sure, like up in the crevices up here, just to make sure we don't leave any room for high spots. You know, if you're interviewing, if you're looking at getting some detailing done, you know, some of the things that you want to know, you know, there is one that does a lot of Facebook marketing that I see pretty regular that does not polish prior to putting ceramic coating on your vehicle. G-Technic will void your warranty, because how are you supposed to know that it will adhere to the surface correctly if the surface has not been polished? You don't know. And so why would they stand behind it if it hasn't been polished? I wouldn't, because the preparation, whether I'm painting that wall right there, painting a car, or whether I'm ceramic coating or whatever, if the preparation is not done correctly before the wall's painted, the paint is not going to adhere correctly. It's not going to maximize the life of it. It's not going to function right. And the paint company's not going to stand behind it. The first thing you want to know when you call them and they come out and look at the wall and say, hey, your paint's faulty. Okay. So they get the rep, come out, but look, first thing you want to know, what did you do to prep the wall? Same thing. What did you do to prep the paint before you started putting ceramic coating on there? If you didn't polish, they're not going to stand behind it at all. But if you've got questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll give you honest answers. We're not high pressure people. Hopefully you see that. We're just out to help people spend money wisely. We'll tell you the truth. It's a better thing. I think it honors the Lord anyway when we do that. And we're more concerned about what he thinks than we are what anybody else thinks. So that's how we live. But we're just going to continue this process so you can go back and watch what we've done, putting ceramic on there. But look at this shine. Look at this shine, y'all. Look at that. My goodness. Don't you want your car to shine like that? Divergentdetailing.com. Go there. You can look at the ceramic prices. If you want rock chip protection like we have on the front, you can get that. It's called paint protection film, or PPF. You can see the details. Pricing's there too. So go check that out or call us. If you got questions, we'd love to quote those for you. You can call us 678-310-3153. God bless you guys. Have a good evening.